MythBusters lives on in the hearts of many fans, even years after the last experiment wrapped up. As for the many people involved in the reality series, some went on to bust world records, while others have found ways to keep blowing things up professionally. The original incarnation of MythBusters wrapped up a 13-year run in 2016, and it didn't take long for co-host Adam Savage to return to television with similar projects. In 2019, he executive produced and solo hosted MythBusters Jr., a spin-off of his previous show, featuring kid and teenage science and engineering students, all conducting experiments and exploding things. In addition to that 10-episode series in 2019, Savage also made 8 episodes of Savage Builds, a twist on the MythBusters formula that found the host creating objects like vehicles made from scrap and hot dog cannons. An occasional actor well before MythBusters, Savage made notable cameos in a couple of recent science fiction projects, appearing briefly in a prequel short for the film Blade Runner 2049 and an episode of the TV series The Expanse.
Now it's off to stage 11 for my big scene.
Savage continues to create things on different levels. He runs the website and YouTube channel Tested, which primarily features him experimenting playfully in a workshop. In 2019, he published his professional life memoir, Every Tool's a Hammer, and then took a position as the creative director of the fan convention Silicon. Much of his time in the 2020s is spent on Savage Industries, a company he helped found to manufacture gear bags made from sustainable materials. MythBusters star and main experimenter Jamie Hyneman left the franchise when the Mother series ended its first run. He hasn't made television of any kind since the 2010s, instead choosing to return to the kind of cutting-edge scientific and technological pursuits that made him such a well-qualified MythBusters co-host. He built the special effects house M5 Industries, from which MythBusters was conceived and produced. And since the end of the TV series, Hyneman has kept M5 open, but shifted his focus to research and development of other technologies.
I'm basically spending my time coming in, locking the doors, turning up the music, and
that's great.
Coming out later with who knows what.
One of the projects Hyneman brought to fruition is WaveCam, an aerial robotic camera intended for use at sporting events. He also helped develop Sentry, a robotic autonomous vehicle used for firefighting. In 2017, Hyneman received an honorary doctorate from Lund University in Finland. Additionally, the university named a lab the J. Hyneman Center in his honor. In 2021, he joined that institution's faculty as a professor of practice for a 5-year term. In a Lund University communique, Hyneman said, "I plan to encourage and support student innovations at JHC. I also hope to participate in the university's activity on a wider scale. For instance, environmental issues and different types of vehicles are especially close to my heart." After 12 seasons and more than 220 episodes as a secondary host and active builder on MythBusters, original cast member Kari Byron departed the series in 2014. Unable to come to an agreement with producers during contract renegotiations, Byron left Discovery Channel for Netflix, where she starred in White Rabbit Project. Along with a team of scientists and builders, Byron headed up comical experiments and real-world testing related to strange and famous moments from history, movies, and TV. The MythBusters-esque series produced a single season of 10 episodes that debuted in 2016. In 2018, Byron published her memoir, Crash Test Girl, revealing her experiences with postpartum depression. Following a divorce, Byron went on to host a solo show, a 6-episode Science Channel series for kids in 2021 called Crash Test World. This move signaled a jump into educational programming, as Byron also co-created Explore Media, an educational streaming video service designed for teachers and science courses. Generally working closely with Byron as part of the second unit build team on MythBusters, Tory Belleci was probably the series' most fearless cast member. Willing to try out almost anything in search of the truth and a good time, he appeared in more than 200 episodes of MythBusters, departing the original series after failed contract negotiations in 2014. Alongside Byron and Grant Imahara, Belleci continued his antics and expertise on Netflix's White Rabbit Project. He'd later reunite with Adam Savage on Savage Builds, and returned to the franchise where he made his name with a stint on Motor MythBusters. In 2020, he also hosted his own series, The Explosion Show. Belleci gave acting a try as well, playing a fictionalized version of himself opposite Top Gear star Richard Hammond on the Prime Video survival comedy The Great Escapists. Now a member of the Jackass crew, Belleci appeared in the big screen production Jackass Forever. He also seeks out adventure on his own, blowing up things on his YouTube channel. And he even teamed up with electronic music artist Deadmau5 to run the Gumball 3000 rally. Along with Kari Byron and Tory Belleci, Grant Imahara departed MythBusters after contract talks broke down in 2014. Imahara accompanied his former co-stars to Netflix for the short-lived White Rabbit project, before capitalizing on his MythBusters fame and audience goodwill to go solo and host the Curbed documentary series, The Home of the Future. He also delved into acting, appearing in the Star Trek fan projects Star Trek Continues and Star Trek Renegades. He also provided cameos on Drunk History and in Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No. When not in front of the camera, Imahara resumed crafting cinematic robots, which was what he did before MythBusters. The one-time BattleBots competitor and robotic sidekick operator on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson built a lifelike animatronic of Grogu from The Mandalorian, which was intended to be used to visit children's hospitals. Tragically, Imahara's impressive career came to an early end when he died as a result of a brain aneurysm in July 2020. Many of the networks and team members he worked with throughout his career have since honored him, and his memory will live on forever in his scientific and creative contributions.
He was the only one of the 5 hosts to have an actual degree in what we were doing, which was engineering and science.
Scottie Chapman popped up in 24 episodes of the first iteration of MythBusters. A talented builder and fabricator of metal, Chapman was instrumental in helping Hyneman and Savage pull off their entertaining experiments. After regularly working on the series in seasons 2 and 3, one-off appearances in seasons 5, 6, and 7, and some work on other science and building shows like Beyond Tomorrow and Monster Garage, Chapman got out of the television industry altogether. According to Dentistry IQ, she's no longer involved with large-scale fabrication projects. Chapman enrolled at Diablo Valley College in Pleasant Hill, California, and earned an Associate of Science degree in dental hygiene. For about a decade, Chapman used that professional certification in her work as a dental assistant. In 2022, the former buster of myths switched career tracks once more. As she announced in an Instagram post, she was about to embark on another 2 years of education, though she didn't specify in which field. When Kari Byron took maternity leave from MythBusters in 2009, car expert, racer, and automotive fabricator Jessi Combs occupied the open spot on the build team. This proved a star-making turn for Combs, who proceeded to be featured in many other vehicular and building-themed reality programs, including All Girls Garage, Overhaulin', Jay Leno's Garage, and How to Build Everything. Not long after her stint on MythBusters, Combs dedicated herself to the goal of setting a new land speed record. In 2013, Combs became known as the fastest woman on 4 wheels when she piloted a jet-powered car to 398 miles per hour. 5 years later, Combs demolished her own record, reaching 483 miles per hour in the jet-based North American Eagle Supersonic Speed Challenger high-performance vehicle. Sadly, on August 27, 2019, Combs would try to top herself once more, aiming to hit 512 miles per hour in an attempt during a run through the desert in eastern Oregon. However, a foreign object collided with the front wheel, and Combs lost control of the vehicle and underwent a fatal crash. She was just 39 years old. In unlocking the secrets of history, mythology, and the truth behind common knowledge, the makers of MythBusters had to first fully understand what they were working with. One of the series' most crucial researchers was its resident folklorist, Heather Joseph-Witham. In the first 2 seasons of the original MythBusters, Joseph-Witham appeared in 18 episodes to provide context, knowledge, and direction in experiments that tested the veracity of urban legends. Since her final appearance on MythBusters in 2004, Joseph-Witham continued her dual careers in entertainment and folklore scholarship. She's appeared on shows like Food Network Challenge, Vigilante Project, Donna of the Darkness, and Ion Entertainment. Additionally, she's done some work in filmmaking, writing and directing UFOs in Derbyshire, Down and Out in Vampire Hills, and Vampires in the Big Easy. She also remains a folklore academic. At Otis College of Art and Design, she's taught classes on topics including witchcraft, UFOs, and vampires. The original edition of MythBusters went off the air in 2016, but only a year later, a reboot was in the works. To find new hosts, Discovery Channel launched a nationwide hunt and taped the process for a reality show called MythBusters: The Search. One contestant who wowed judges and producers and who went on to host the revived MythBusters for 1 season was industrial designer Jon Lung. His experience getting ready to host MythBusters and then actually doing it would be his only television project to date. Since his foray into entertainment, Lung returned to his career in industrial design and artistic product development. A former furniture designer and lab technician for the Visible Futures Lab at the School of Visual Arts in New York City, Lung freelanced for nearly a decade and then became a lead designer at IDEO. MythBusters employed dozens of crew members, experts, and specialists over the years. Sadly, some of these supporting stars of the long-running series died tragically not long after they helped out on MythBusters. Eric Gates appeared in multiple episodes in the early seasons of the show. He was credited as an amateur rocket expert and assisted with experiments centered around rocketry. Also a consultant on the rocketry reality show Master Blasters and an electrical contractor by trade, Gates was overseeing a job at a business park in Ventura County, California in 2009. The work surface gave way. Gates fell 30 feet, and he died at the scene from blunt force chest injuries at age 47. Sanjay Singh served on the on-site medical crew, helping to treat the biggest accidents and injuries on MythBusters, and driving an ambulance when needed. Singh appeared on camera in 3 MythBusters episodes, the last of which was in 2007. His October 2010 death was announced on the show with a dedication card.